Hey, what's up, everybody? Rob Sower here with Sower Real Estate, Keller Williams Realty Boise, with the January newsletter, 2026. I know it's February, but we're going to be talking about the January numbers. And how many of you guys watched the Super Bowl? Many of you guys check that out. Now, I actually have to admit, I did not watch it. I love the NFL, but I didn't watch it. I'm not a huge Seattle Seahawks fan or a Patriots fan for that matter. I've been a Rams fan ever since I was a kid. So I was a little bit bummed that they got beat out by the Seahawks. But congratulations to the Seahawks. They totally earned it. Whether you're a fan of them or not, you have to respect what they did. They played an incredible season. And yes, they got the win. But you know what I typically do is I watch the highlights afterwards. It's like 10, 15 minutes at the most. That way I don't get to see any of the commercials and I don't get to see the halftime show. Whether you're a fan of whatever Bad Bunny or not, I'm personally not. And actually, not to totally sidetrack here, but I heard that and I know it was all in Spanish from what I understand, but I also seem to understand from what I've heard that his lyrics are really not the best. And yeah, I know I sound old, but that's just how it goes. So anyway, so let's jump into the market stats for January of 2026. We're seeing a lot of similarities to, every year this time. When we roll from December into January and into February, there is, and I'll kind of show you this, but there is kind of this, we're starting to see the uptick of listings that are about, now this is from last year, so this is what we're going to be looking into as we're closing out January here. You'll see that once we get into basically February, March, April, May, it starts to go up as far as the number of listings that are on the market. I think that's going to be the same. So that's very similar. The difference that I'm seeing so far this year is that we have, if you look at the active number of listings here versus this same time last year, there's almost 100 more listings that are on the market and the same amount of homes going under contract, roughly, give or take a little bit. So that tells me that we're looking a little bit more like a buyer's market as we kind of ramp up into the spring. The thing that's really hard to tell for sure, though, is how much did this kind of lack of winter impact some of these things? Are we just seeing people that are putting their homes on the market sooner because it feels more like a spring, and then maybe it won't be as quite of a steep incline or what? I don't know. That's kind of the gray area that I'm just not sure how that's going to play out. We're looking at the inventory is about 1.3 months as an aggregate, so it still indicates that it's a seller's market. But again, always take that with a grain of salt, because just because the numbers say that does not mean that that's how it feels. It's a little too early to tell in this time of the season if it's going to feel like a buyer's market or a seller's market. I can give kind of some examples. We just put a listing on recently that was just over the $1 million mark, and we've had like 17 showings over the weekend, and we've got potentially multiple offers coming in. And that's at a price point that a lot of times you just wouldn't see that. So, I don't know. I feel like what we're seeing is the market is very picky about the homes that get a lot of attention. So if it's stuff that's priced really well, marketed really well, and it's also a very desirable home for, whatever reason, whether it be location, features, etc., remodel, those kinds of things, those homes get a lot of attention, but we're still seeing a lot of homes that are perfectly fine homes, but they're not kind of the top in their category. We're still seeing price reductions. They're sticking around longer and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of a funky market in some ways. And again, we'll have to see what happens as we get into the springtime. Like I say, I'm really not sure how this lack of winter is impacting the numbers that we're seeing now. If it's an indication that we just have a jump start to the listings that are coming on the market, or are we going to see that continue, and we're going to see people talking, or we're going to see people putting more and more homes on the market. Now, I will admit, nationally speaking, that seems to be the tone that a lot of the market gurus, I guess you could say, on a national level are talking about. And we are seeing that for the first time in a long time, there are more sellers in the market than buyers, where we've been used to so many years really of more buyers than sellers, where that inventory was so tight because you had a lot of people with really low interest rates and they were hanging on to that. We're seeing that flip. So again, still a little bit early to see how that's going to play out for this year. But it's interesting to kind of keep an eye on. So anyway, let's see, checking my notes here. I don't really think that I have much else to go over. I don't really have any big real estate stories this time around. The closings that we've had recently, everything's, been fairly uneventful. And, that's how real estate goes. Sometimes it's uneventful and sometimes it's really not. So, we've been fortunate this last little go around with our closings that everything's gone pretty smoothly. A couple of new construction and stuff like that. So anyway, I would love to help any of you guys. If you have questions or concerns, anything about the market or whether or not this is a good time for you to buy or sell or invest or whatever, or maybe you just want to know about your scenario for a year from now, 6 months from now, anything like that, reach out and let us know how we could help. All right, thanks and have a great day. Bye.